Mhm. Good morning, friend. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday and welcome to the Spiritual Side of Virginia. As always, it is so good to be together here with you today. And before our prayer, we usually start with a message. And today's message for all of us comes from the book Happy Life by the loving spirit Joana de Angelis, telling all of us the message is on page 98 of the paper book. And it tells all of us, it says, no one will help solve your problems if you do not make an effort to face and solve them yourself. Someone may lend you money to pay down a debt. Nonetheless, the debt persists. Only the creditor has changed. A friend may become your Simon of Cyrene, but your cross is personal, and each person must carry it his or her liberating Calvary. Therefore, do not tax your loved ones with your grievances, complaints, and struggles. Try to solve one problem at a time until you have overcome all of
Let us, this prayerful moment, we join the loving and kind spirit doctors, nurses, and therapists. We feel you, dear God, always sustaining us. You have created us. You created us for progress, for beauty, for harmony, for health. And in the school of life, we're learning how to achieve it by co-creating with you. We visualize at this moment hands of healing touching our heads, calming, pacifying our minds, strengthening our bodies as we breathe in and out, absorbing the energy medicine that you offer to us. We also visualize everyone connected to us also receiving a share of this banquet of light. May we be nourished together. May we also be treated in the ways that we are in need of. And we also see everyone who has their names in our book of prayer being invited to a new life, open to renew our thought patterns and thus change our lives for the better. We ask for your guidance as we feel your protection. As we express our gratitude for your loving permission so we can be here together today. And so be it. Okay, friends. I know it was Valentine's Day yesterday, right? And some people like it, some people don't like it. But we at the Spirit Side of Virginia, we love it. It's because of this love proposal. It's not only about romantic relationships, it's about the opportunity to love ourselves, to love life, to rejoice. And I'll tell you something that sometimes we don't realize. This year, Valentine's Day coincides with the Brazilian Carnival, right? Yeah, there's joy in Carnival in Brazil, but unfortunately, it's not only about joy. And Divaldo Franco once shared with us, and you can look at our exhibit of the Spiritist magazine inside in the hallway. There's one issue of the magazine that talks about Carnival and talks about the Spiritist view of it. And we have an interview with Divaldo Franco on it, and he explains that according to the higher spirits, it's one of the darkest moments on earth. So paradoxical because it's so happy, the dance, but what people are making of it, the abuses of drinking, irresponsible sex, etc. So for us to be here on the other side of the America, right? And counterbalance with the proposal of love, it's a good way to counterbalance everything. So God is so good that He's always giving us some form of relief for our own constructions. And today, as we are going to talk about a specific topic, which is about this inner call to our sharing life, we're going to give our children and teens a break. You can listen from us from inside because you're going to do art cookies decoration if you want. Okay? Mr. Felipe, Miss Karen, Miss Daisy are gonna lead you inside. You're gonna listen to the call there, the talk inside, where you're gonna do heart-shaped cookies decoration. If you wanna go inside, okay? So if you want, you can follow them inside. All right? I know, right? Yeah. Happy surprise. Enjoy while you can. Because I want to go there too, but I can't. Okay? So, Mm, mm. About that inner focus. People ask, they ask themselves, why? Why don't we go straight to the passes? Huh? Right? We come, we pray, passes, go home. You know why? I think some people know why. Why is that? But why? 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 Would the passes work the same? Say it, Michele. Yes. Yes. Andre Luiz, the spirit doctor, through the medium Chico Xavier, shows to us that if we sit down, receive the passes with our worry mind, probably won't receive anything. It's going to be fruitless. Like when you go to the doctor and you have a wound, please close it, heal it. It's not immediate. They're going to take steps. They're going to clear it up, prepare, and then do the other steps. The passes only work if we are in the right mindset. And what's the right mindset? One, I need to think differently because what I have been thinking brought me the imbalance that I have now. So hopefully, when we have some different information, it's going to reorganize the way we think about ourselves, life. And in that new way of thinking, I connect with the higher spirits, our guardian angels, and more easily receive the energy medicine that we need. Plus, as you said, the consequences will be we'll live a better life. Like one day, I remember I was having a hard time forgiving somebody many years ago. Virginia was little. This person did something that I was like, man, I don't understand. How can this person do this to a woman who just had a baby? In my mind, I daily pray to God, please help me forgive, but I need to understand why this person did this. It was so cruel. I had my therapist. I'm a psychologist, but I use also the opportunity of having therapists to organize my emotions. So I talked to this therapist and nothing I did helped. I started praying before going to sleep and thanking the therapist of the beyond help me. And then one day they showed me scenes of this woman's childhood, how hard it was, how brutal. There was no true love. You know, when parents, they have children, they say they love children, but they actually don't love their children. Because we think that being a parent is like, oh, I automatically love my child. We spiritists know that this is not true. The proposal is to love, but love is not already built. When you have a baby, it's not like, oh, I automatically love this child. It's a building process because this relationship comes from the past. Sometimes it's already there from previous lives. Sometimes it's not. In this woman's case, her mom didn't love her at all. So when she saw the love of a mother to her baby, she immediately felt threatened. How come I didn't have this. So then she didn't do anything directly to me. She reacted to a reality that she had inside of her. When I saw that, I felt so much compassion for her that I said, man, I know she's much older than me. But I immediately felt so much love for her in the sense of, I understand your pain. And I understand now how you felt this lack and that you wanted that for you. So actually, she didn't do anything to me. That's how forgiveness is. You change the situation, the interpretation in such a way that there's no offense anymore. It disappears. That's how the spirits say, forget it. Forget it because you changed the interpretation. The meaning of the situation, it's no longer an offense. The person didn't do anything to us. So it really takes a new way of thinking to change the way we feel and the way we have our lives. Let me tell you, sometimes even though we know all of this, we do so many things automatically, right? Like this man in Brazil, he was very responsible, a wonderful businessman in the beginning of the 20th century, the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century. He was an immigrant in Brazil who became quite successful. And then one day he had a family, had his children. For people, he was a good father. He was, in their own way, a good husband. And then he became a spiritist at a time in which to be a spiritist was, you were one of the few there. And then he became a spiritist and he got so devoted, engaged, that he started helping with his much money and with his efforts. He became the director of a spiritist organization in Brazil. He used to live in Rio de Janeiro, which was the capital then. And he devoted his life so much to these teachings that once Chico Xavier became Chico Xavier, though young, he corresponded with Chico Xavier by letters. When he died, he donated a big part of his money to Chico Xavier. And the family was like, Chico Xavier didn't accept it. He said, since he was the director of the Brazilian Spiritist Federation, Chico Xavier said, you guys keep the money to publish more books. Well, one day, this man, in the afterlife, came back, literally came back to write a book through Chico Xavier. And he said, Emmanuel, the mentor of Chico Xavier, because we serious mediums don't write books at a whim. The spirits don't come and write at a whim. It's all organized, orchestrated very well by the forces of on high. And he said, Chico, Emmanuel allowed me to come and write a book. I want people to know how my discarnation happened, how my life is here, and one of my greatest discoveries in the afterlife. And he wrote this book. It is in English, but not published. But at Cardiac Radio, you can listen to the whole book, chapter by chapter, with comments in this series that we did many years ago. 21 Days to Spiritual Awakening. From his struggles, he returned, facing death, the discarnation, his new life, etc. It's a beautiful thing. In this book, Frederico Figner, that was his name. Here it's a pseudonym, Brother Jacob. Why? Because when he wrote the book, I'll go one step back. When he discarnated, the whole Spiritist movement back then thought that he was one of the greatest and most perfect Spiritists ever. To the point that the Brazilian Spiritist Federation, that has a periodical named O Reformador, they wrote an article, The Discarnation of the Most Perfect Spiritist. He came back and said, it's not true. And he said, I want my family and my friends to know what I missed. It's fascinating, the book. Fascinating because he says, I fulfilled my daily obligations at home, in the Spiritist Center, everywhere in my business, but I forgot to fulfill my actual duty. Oh, what? So, what is the difference between duty and obligation? We think they are all in the same. We go to school, people say they are synonyms, but actually there is a major difference. Let's ask these three questions before we go to the definitions, okay? You tell me, is this a duty or an obligation? You repay a loan because the contract legally requires it. Is it duty or obligation? You comfort a friend who's suffering even though no one expects you to. Duty or obligation? A parent wakes up in the middle of the night to care for a sick child. Is it duty or obligation? Or both? Both? Yes, both. Why? Because duty is a moral calling from within. It's driven by inner conscience. Obligation is a requirement imposed from external things. Both are important. Both. Obligation refines through law, so it's good to fulfill our obligations, but duty elevates us through love. Frederico Figner slash Brother Jacob, he said, guys, when I came here to the afterlife, I thought when I was incarnated that I was coming here with so much light. And then I was surprised when I saw Dr. Bezerra de Menezes, Bittencourt Sampaio, big expressions in the Spiritist movement who discarnated before him, and other friends. And they came to help me, and I felt so small because they emanated so much light, and I saw light. I was shocked. I'm gonna pause here to share something with you. So interesting because when Chico Xavier, before publishing, showed the book to his children, they said, we don't want the name of our father associated with this. Not because of Spiritism, because he said, no, our father was perfect. Can't be him. Now imagine, Chico Xavier received a lot of money, didn't accept, and yet he is publishing a book that says that the guy doesn't have the light. Because there are many people in this world who pay religious people thinking that they are gonna get things in the afterlife, or their memory is gonna be intact here, right? Chico Xavier did not sell himself. That's why he succeeded. He didn't shake hands out of convenience. He was committed to the truth. This is good for us to observe. Some people at the Brazilian Spiritist Federation said, no, no, we're not going to put his name on the cover either. Sometimes the good spirit said, you know what, we don't fight, we love. So let's put a pseudonym, Brother Jacob. But then over time, people discovered it was him. But it was past all the friend circles time. Nowadays we know, and it's a good lesson for us. Huh? A lesson asking us, am I doing my daily obligations or am I fulfilling my duty? There's a big difference. Where in my life am I living mechanically? Where can I elevate obligation into loving duty? Unfortunately, this week we got to know of this strange case in Brazil of a father who, imbalanced, decided to punish his wife by killing his children. Where is father's love if you take your children's life? How paradoxical is this? And you go to the person's social media, pictures of the family, showing happy family, happy family. That's why I tell people, the more happiness I see in somebody's social media, the more I know that person is so sad. So sad and depressed because they need to reaffirm to the world that they are happy. It's a lie. Because when you're happy, you don't need that. You leave it. But how many things do I do mechanically? You're going to feed your child, but there's no love in there. Remember when Virginia was born, Mentor Joseph said, whenever you breastfeed her, you open the gospel according to Spiritism and read it while you're breastfeeding her. And then I asked him, even overnight, I can even read. I'm going to wake up Carlos with a light to read the book. He said, no, you're excused, but you have to bring prayer. I said, of course, I'm already somewhere else. But he said, Vanessa, it's nourishment of mind and body. And then I had the gospel everywhere at home, whenever. It was a mindful moment to nourish the body, but nourish the soul. When we are changing the baby's diaper, we think it's something like, yeah. But in psychology, we learn babies work through their doings. So when you show your disgust for what they produce, it impacts their self-esteem. Self-esteem, it does. So Mentor Joseph said, whenever you change your diaper, you kindly ask for permission because it's her body, it's not your body. You do it gently, you do with respect and love, and you don't feel yucked. You have to put mind over matter on this. High training, huh? High training. But if we don't do it, that's the difference, obligation. The child comes from school. We have our things. We're doing our things. But we know that when our children come from school and teens, oh, mama, if you're medium, you see things, you feel things. And you need to catch your breath and say, man, how do I help this child cleanse this mind from 10,000 things they absorbed and reorganize it? Because we don't pay attention. We're the ones sculpting that mind while they are with us. Babysitters, au pairs, they are responsible for what they are doing to the kids. And then they come back from school. We can't simply say, I'm so busy. Mindfulness. Tell me something funny that happened today at school. Not necessarily how was your day, but tell me something funny. So we begin, and then they smile, start telling something. And then later they feel more relaxed. They tell you the real things. Now tell me something you didn't want to see happening there, or you didn't like. Now you know the problems. And then we talk. Like Professor Lipis Barçanufo said, talking spirit to spirit. And then talking, organizing emotions and aligning that mind to the mindset. They're normal kids like everybody else. But in the long run, in adulthood, it's going to pay off because we were there supporting their growth out of love, not out of obligation. I already paid the bills. I already give food and shelter. My duty is done. No, my obligation is done, but the duty is still there to be fulfilled. In the book Thought and Life, Emmanuel through Chico Xavier says that in chapter 21, duty is not punishment. It's an instrument of elevation. When embraced with goodwill, it becomes a path of inner liberation rather than a burden. For example, friends, when you have to do laundry, right? Sometimes I dream a robot coming to my house. I told Carlos, he said, oh, the Chinese are so advanced in robotic things. I said, I'm dreaming about buying one of those robots just for laundry purposes. But then who's gonna fold with love? That's the question. Who is gonna fold with love, huh? Is it a spray we put on? Love. Who is going to fold and say, I hope when you wear this, you feel so happy, joyful, strong, fulfilled. This is not our invention. Mary Kondo from Japan. It's on Netflix. She shows how you put love in your things, how we organize our shelvings, our closets with so much love that when you open, it's joy here, joy there, joy everywhere. No clutter. This is also love. Our minds are organized. Aldous Huxley, this amazing scientist and thinker, said that our brains capture everything we have in the environment. So right now in this room, we know that there are these three lights here, a clock there, this picture about waterfalls with lavender talking about our magnetized water, the station, the piano, the American flag. We know every detail. But how do we survive this input of so much stimulus and stay sane? Because autistic people, they get very disrupted by so much stimulus. But how do we stay sane? We have an inner mechanism to shut down what is not important and highlight what is important. It takes a lot of energy to do this. So when I am at home and I have my things spread out everywhere, my brain knows. And it's daily saying, don't worry about that closet, that clutter. Forget about it. It's not important. There's a lot of energy there. So you see that people who do not have their things very organized, they're often drained. So I tell Virginia, if you want to live well, keep everything in order. Order. And parents help. I don't agree with this thing like they have to do on their own. When they are 18 and up, they have to do on their own. But before then, we go and help. Say, let's fix this now. Let's organize that now. We go to the bedroom, say, okay, let's make this a happy place, huh? Together. No, but I'm here with you. I'm doing this partnership until you learn. When you learn, I'll be off. Huh? I don't need to do this again. And that's duty. It's love. The key word is goodwill. And that's why, to highlight how we go in our lives from obligation to duty, to really evolve and build this inner light, we're going to see how Jesus talk to children. Because that's how we should talk to our children. That's how we should talk to one another. And that's the way Professor Barsanova teaches us. We need to stop our lives. Imagine the Messiah at his time to waste time talking with children. And he not only did that, but he taught us to welcome children, especially our inner child. Stop shutting down the inner child, which we call repression, right? Repression. And Mentor Joseph was telling 2 days ago, repression is not evolution. It's not evolution. You don't evolve by repressing it. You evolve by managing it. And now we're going to learn an example of when we go from obligation to duty, when we love, especially in our families, transforming our homes, our houses into homes. Daily love, daily attention, daily devotion. Oh, my house is already a home. If I don't renew it today, that deal, it doesn't sustain itself. Every day, even if we live alone, we have roommates, transforming that space, physical space, into a loving space, into a loving station of work where we forget about ourselves to think of others. To wrap up, before we listen to Jesus, this week somebody came to me and said, Vanessa, I understand what you guys do at the Spirit Side of Virginia, but some people don't understand it. They don't understand why you guys do everything for free. And I said, let me tell you this. When we discarnate, we'll talk again. Because you only understand from that perspective. From this perspective, I agree with you. Doesn't make sense. So let's wait for that. Mhm. And then we'll talk. And then we'll talk about this. And then it's going to make so much sense. So let's listen to Jesus. They forget about this deal. Forgive YouTube. They don't know what they are doing. It's involuntary. Oh, hold on. There is music on the background. Hold on. Close your eyes. Visualize Jesus in front of you, blessing Americas. The Americas. Okay, sorry. Thank you, Felipe. Yeah. Yeah. Don't we love StreamYard? Let's do it again. It says here, confirming. You think you can double check later, Carlos, over there? Let's see. Let me see if people can listen to it. Right now, there's no sound. I know why. Because it's probably coming from the TV. Okay, sorry. Let me just see if I can get the sound from. Yeah, sure, yeah. The problem is not that, is that the sound is coming off the TV and doesn't stream here. Yeah, no, I'm worried about the people over the internet. We need to make the sound come from here. Yeah. The problem is that this is coming from the TV. Yeah. Yeah, let me see the StreamYard if I can change it here. Yeah, here. See, this is the TV. This is the computer. Should test. Yeah, so let's try it this way, okay? Thank you.
I tried to walk away, but he wouldn't stop pushing me. So I pushed him so hard he fell down.
Okay,
And that's
we
why you
will
were
do
punished.
this.
Did you
Ah,
expect something different?
But even Torah says eye for eye. Why should I be punished too?
Yes, but that is for a judge. You are hardly in a court of law. And you, all of you, are to be special. You are to act differently than others.
You tell us to be gentle, but Rabbi Josiah said Messiah would lead us against the Romans, that he would be a great military leader.
It is important to respect your teachers and honor your parents. And Rabbi Josiah is a smart man. But many times, smart men lack wisdom. Is there anything in Scripture that says Messiah will be a great military leader? There are many things about Scripture that you cannot understand yet, and that is okay, that is fine. You have many years ahead of you. And God does not reveal all things at once. But children, what if many of the things that our people think about how we are to behave and how we are to treat one another are wrong? You want things to be fair. When someone wrongs you, you want to right it. And you know who else loves justice? But what does the Lord say in the law of Moses about justice and vengeance?
Vengeance is mine.
Yes, very good. Very good. Boys, pay attention. She doesn't even go to Torah class, huh? The Lord loves justice. But maybe it is not ours to handle. Do you remember when David had the chance to kill King Saul, who was evil to him? But he didn't. Saul was God's anointed. And it was not the right time for justice. And God says he will have compassion on his people when... what? Let's see if someone who studies this at school is learning, huh?
When their strength is gone?
Yes, very good. So, maybe we let God provide the justice. Maybe we handle these things in a different way. Not trying to be the strongest all the time.
Even Messiah?
You will have to see. But do not expect Messiah to arrive in Jerusalem on a tall horse carrying weapons. And he will be most pleased with those of you who are the peacemakers.
Where were you yesterday?
I had to stay in town later on. There was a woman who needed my help.
Did you build something for her?
No. You remember when I said that I have a job that is bigger than my trade? There is a woman who has had much pain in her life. And she was in trouble. So I helped her.
Is she your friend?
She is now. And I have chosen her and others, and more soon, to join me in traveling.
Do they know you?
Not yet.
But what if they don't like you?
Many won't. This is my reason for being here.
I still don't understand. What is your reason for being here?
I'm telling you this because even though you are children, and the elders in your life have lived longer, many times adults need the faith of children. And if you hold on to this faith really tightly, someday soon, you will understand all of what I am saying to you. But you ask an important question, Abigail. What is my reason for being here? And the answer is for all of you. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor.
Isaiah.
Isaiah, I have loved spending this time with you. You are all so very special. And I hope that my next students ask the same questions you do, and that they listen to my answers. But I suspect they do not have the understanding you do. And I hope that when the time comes, they will tell others about me, like you have.
Big friends. So, this is duty. Jesus came to fulfill the loving duty and is inviting us to do that in our daily lives as well. Let us prepare for the passes as we feel this closeness to Jesus, who certainly guides all of us on earth, friends. Six, seven. Recalling the conversation between Jesus and the children, let us feel ourselves as if we're seated in front of him and he's talking with us, clarifying doubts, explaining the very things we need to heal. Let us all now feel that from the loving smile of our doctor, the master of all masters, the loving presence of God on earth, Jesus, is looking at us, smiling, encouraging us to a beautiful, harmonious life. His lips emanate so much light, enveloping all of us from his heart to our hearts. This new strength, this reassurance that we are loved deeply and unconditionally. By visualizing the spirit doctors handing to each one of us a flower of healing, a beautiful white flower. We bring this flower close to our heart, and the perfume that we inhale and the light envelops our hearts, our whole circulatory system, deobstructing the pathways, allowing only love and peace to flow within us. let us all know. Visualize Master Jesus. He can talk to us too. He loves us. Let us visualize him in front of us with his beautiful smile. He loves children, teens, everyone. We visualize his beautiful smile, encouraging us to be part of his work. He's our best friend. Okay, friends, now it's our turn to visualize that beautiful flower that we receive, the flower of peace, and visualize that we are offering this flower of peace to someone that we must reconcile with. So let us visualize this loving action and the release of emotions, opening ourselves for loving and caring emotions.
feeling the sweet and loving presence of our Master, inviting all of us to love more, to understand more, and to give more. Let us visualize Master Jesus enveloping the city of Chantilly, the state of Virginia, Washington, D.C., the entire United States in a call for healing and a call for love. Let us visualize that from the brain of the world emerges bridges of hope, friendship, and togetherness. Let us visualize that from the heart of Master Jesus, all families in the world, all beings in the world, are enveloped in this call for love, thanking God for being the sun of our lives. We also pray in gratitude for the Spiritus Society of Virginia, for Kardec Radio, for all of its beautiful projects, as we also visualize Master Jesus enveloping every person whose names is in the book of prayer, in an invitation to renewal. We visualize our homes, our workplaces, everyone connected to us also receiving the same call and trusting the love that sustains all of us in all places at all times. We ask God, Master Jesus, and the mentors here present to finalize these moments of prayer, trusting in the power of divine love always. And so be it.
Oh, friends, two things. Don't forget your water bottles. And for those who didn't bring theirs, remember, this is deep therapy for us, okay? Thank you, Tony. It's so important because during the week you keep drinking that water, it keeps rebalancing us. But next week, we're gonna have the Metro campaign. You remember that? We postponed twice because of the weather. This time we're gonna make it. Dr. Post is waiting for this. Okay, why are people standing up? Why are they standing up? I don't understand. Yeah, yeah. You get your cookies. So, I know because we transferred to what's happening, Carlos? Yeah, okay. So for people who are watching us, if they are nearby, they can also volunteer. So because some people, due to the changes in date, won't be able to help us, we need at least two more people to help us, okay? Because we're covering 100 stations, all right? So if you think the homeless service is more important than this, we need to read all these books again, okay? So if you volunteer to go to the homeless but not to do this, then we need to talk because this is more important. This is food for the soul. We need at least two more people to team up with other friends and cover the 100 stations that we need to give away without talking to anybody. We're not going to talk to anybody. We're not going to give the books to anybody. We're going to leave that offer on the bench at each station as we've done other times. Okay. We just need two more volunteers, friend. Two more. It's only at 11 a.m. next Saturday. We meet at Central Station, the metro station in DC. We grab the books and we go to our own lines. We stop for the book, go back into the train, go to the next one, the same thing until the bag is empty. And we don't have many books per group, so it's very easy. So if you think you can help and your name's not here, talk to Daisy, okay? She's gonna include you. Please make this happen because this is so important, friends, okay? All right? Bring your kids. It's so much fun when you do with your kids, right? Leticia, right, Fabrício? You did it with them and it's so much fun. Lucy is doing this with Michele, Romeo with his dad that I know, Sophia and Nyla with Christina and potentially the father, Jean as well, Virginia with us. So, if you think you can make it, talk to Daisy the hallway. Let's make this happen, friends. All right? See you. If you need anything, we'll be here to talk with you. Thank you.